What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and today we have a user submitted deck, or a fan. Someone sent in their deck and some replays, and we're gonna go over the first one, and then the next ones we're gonna kind of like breeze through a lot faster. This is their opening hand. Pretty decent. They're playing Zero Max and Dark World Reinforcements. This card, all these cards are gonna come in handy for this. I've seen this replay once and everything, and yeah, so let's just get into it. The board is pretty impressive in what they end on. They're going to banish Archfiend, set everything, activate the Jackalope. Jackalope's effect's going to activate because they have to choose that. Get Suganoko. Then they're going to go into Levier, and they're going to summon Archfiend. Archfiend is going to get them... Archfiend's going to get them something, but before that, they're going to send Necromancer to the grave with Rhino, and it's going to get them Avenger, specifically. So, here's where this card comes in handy. They're going to special summon back Necromancer, and then they're going to have to discard their Infernity Avenger. And then they're going to link summon into Sideframe, the Sideframe Link monster. And I think this is mainly just because it's a decent link too. And to get things off the field. Archfiend searches Patriarch. Patriarch it special summons itself because it was the only card in hand. And then number 60 is they're gonna overlay into number 60 after link summoning away for this. This card so far seems just like it's another decent link monster to go into just to get cards off of the field. Yeah, they choose a special summon to skip their next main phase one, and they're going to get back Infernity Necromancer, which is going to get back Archfiend, which is going to get back, which is going to search Launcher, and that's kind of the loop with Infernities. They summon Saryuja and they get a Mirage. Mirage, it's kind of like a Infernity Launcher. So Infernity Launcher reads, you can send it to the graveyard to special summon up to 2 Infernity monsters from your graveyard, but you can't have any cards in your hand. Mirage is the same, but it can't be special summoned from the graveyard, so you can't keep bringing it back. With Necromancer was the idea, but there are ways around it, as we're going to see pretty soon. So they summon back Avenger and Necromancer. Get the Archfiend. Archfiend is going to search another Mirage. They're going to get a Saryuja Skuldread. They're going to get keep the World Legacy Succession. They're going to use this effect, summon back Mirage again, and this is where like the synchro variant ish of this deck kind of starts its loop. So, and do this, get a search. They're going to add Paranoia. Paranoia is going to activate, and they're going to tribute Necromancer so they can summon Conjurer. And the graveyard effect isn't going to matter immediately, because you can't use it the turn that it is sent to the graveyard. So, can't use it this turn, and next turn they skip their main phase 1. So, as well. But, nonetheless, they get out Conjure from the deck with its effects negated. So, they're going to do the classic play, make Odd-Eye's Infernity Mirage, and then so it copies its effects, and then it's going to tribute itself to summon back Infernity, Avenger, and Necromancer. So this is the classic loop of getting cards and searching them and making an 8, and then searching and making an 8. So they get in Barrier. They activate Conjurer's effect from the graveyard to special summon itself. And they go into Apopalooza. So this is their first negate, where they can negate monster effects. And they can do that up to 4 times. So, and it's once per chain, which is neat. Then they're going to use Infernity Launcher, special summon back the 2 that they always do, which is these 2. gonna summon Infernity Archfiend, which gets them another barrier. They're gonna go into Void Ogre Dragon, so that they can negate spells traps once per turn. And they're also against Dogmatica, which is a really good deck too. They're going to activate Zero Max to special summon Infernity from their graveyard, and then they have to destroy all monsters with lower attack, and they can't conduct the battle phase this turn, but it's the first turn. They don't really have a battle phase, and they're going to choose Avenger so that they don't blow up anything. Next up, they use World Legacy Succession as a monster reborn to get back their 100 Eyes Dragon. 100 Eyes is going to make a copy of itself another Mirage, and they're going to special summon these two, Necromancer and Patriarch. And then they're going to synchro summon into Borreload Savage Dragon, and it's going to choose one of their Link 4s, aka Saryuja. Then we're going to get back Archfiend effect to search out another Infernity barrier, Monster Reborn to summon out Avenger. Then they're going to end on Herald of the Arclight. So let's see how many negates the opponent will have to play through. So they have to play through 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have to play through up to 10 negates. Appaloosa stops monsters and can do it multiple times in a turn, as long as but not multiple times in a chain, as the card says. So, how is our opponent going to get out of this? Oh, the opponent top decked the Nibiru one turn too late. That's rough, dude. They're just going to go through, negate everything. And they drew the Heiress, which is rough. And they had to go wait until main phase 2 in order to summon it, because they skipped their first main phase with the XDs. And they summoned their Heiress so they can get empty-handed. The opponent tried to activate the Elixir, because they're Dogmatica Elixir. They're a Dogmatica deck with the Golden Boy, I think, and Elixir anyway. Yeah, anyway, I'm fumbling over words. Opponent still has to play through 1, 2, up to 6 negates. It's pretty rough for our opponent. Oh. Yeah, the opponent. And they drew a tour guide. They're going to go into number 3, Cicada King. And they're going to use Infernity Paranoia to get back at their Patriarch, and Patriarch is going to special summon itself. And right now they're going to go for game, and the opponent gets OTK'd. Was it an actual first turn kill? No, but it was an OTK nonetheless. Anyway, next up, we have versus Subterrors. This seems like a different build. They have a Fossil Dig in here. We didn't see Fossil Dig last time. So, Allure Darkness banishes Necromancer. Oh, okay. So the Fossil Dig is for Gillosaurus. That's pretty cool. And they're going to summon it, and they're going to use, they're going to go into Cherubini so that they can send a level 3 Fiend monster from the deck to target a Burning Abyss. And what they're going to send is Archfiend Heiress. Or no, Fiendish Rhino. Fiendish Rhino to send Heiress. Okay. Well, they can do the Fiendish Rhino to Heiress to add the Archfiend if they need to. But what they did was, they sent the Archfiend since they already had a way to get back it back from graveyard. I haven't seen this replay yet, actually. So, I only watched the first one and was impressed with how many negates it put out. Even though it's typical Infernity things. Summons Archfiend. Archfiend effect, add special side frame. Yeah, detach both these, get back the Necromancer. As you can see, this is like the typical play, so I'm just gonna let this play through. As launcher, Skull Dread. So they did get back. They did choose to get the Dark World reinforcements, which is pretty neat. But they're gonna just continue to go off with their many forms of Monster Reborn, because the deck plays out of its graveyard like it's nothing. Yeah, summons. Alright, summons this. Activates charge into Dark World or Dark World reinforcements, so they can summon back Infernity Necromancer and then discard Infernity Avenger. Gets back Archfiend, adds Mirage, uses effects, special summons Mirage. Link summons in another Skull Dread, puts all the Infernity barriers back to the bottom to get Sukanoko. Sukanoko summons itself, and here we go with the normal loop-ish type of thing. Adds Paranoia. Paranoia activates. Gets Conjure. Gets Skull Dread. Number 3. Special summons Mirage. And here we go. A typical Synchro variant build of special, add, Synchro, use Mirage, or, yeah, 100 eyes. Yeah, okay. I'll just let it play through and until they make a different play. So they go for Levy Air so they can get back, see what they get back. Okay, Necromancer. Sometimes I've seen them, not Atlas Yu-Gi-Oh, but I have seen Infernity decks also get back one of their Mirages before, if they need to. So I was wondering where they were going with this exactly, but they opted to get this, which means they can go into an 8 if they need to. But they're going to just link 4 for Appapalooza, which makes sense. They're going to use Mirage's effect, get back these two, going to get their third barrier from the deck. And they're going to get Boral, Savage, Dragon. They're going to use Launcher, and they're going to use this to most likely make Void Ogre Dragon again. Oh. Okay, never mind. They're not making Void Ogre. Yeah, it makes sense not to make a Void Ogre there, so that they could actually have their barriers online. Yeah, this another lots and lots of negates that the opponent has to play through. Let's see how our opponent gets out of this. Gonna negate that with the Herald. Gonna set some cards and end the turn. There can be only one. We negate that. Attack. 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 And there's the OTK. Yeah, Infernities are a really cool deck, but they are a pretty linear deck. They do one thing very well. That's a 3-turn duel. Starting out with the tour guide this time. Alright, so this is a pretty different play. Tour guide into Necromancer, into using Infernity, Paranoia to get Conjure, and then they're going to get the Cherubini from here, I'm assuming, and go into Rhino. Right? Okay, Gillis, Fossil Dig, Special Summon. Yeah, Cherubini sends the Rhino. Rhino's effect. Sends the Archfiend, and here we go. We're off to the races, folks. Patriarch summons itself. And let's see. let it play through. They're going to do their thing again. Makes another Skull Dread. Set. Special. Yeah. Yeah, this deck plays like a bunch of different forms of basically Monster Reborn and can constantly add cards, as we can see. Because like I said, none of the cards are hard once per turns. They came out in the 5Ds era. 5Ds aren't exact... 5Ds, for some reason, GX didn't have... GX was like 50-50 on hard once per turns. Like sometimes they had them, sometimes they didn't. And with 5Ds, they just kind of threw those out the window so that, you know, you could like special summon more so you could synchro summon was the idea. But what it ended up doing is a lot of decks have these loops, right? Like how Infernities can go from having hardly any advantage to going like plus 30 in a turn. And we're just kind of seeing the aftermath of that. The fact Skull Dread isn't a hard once per turn either kind of fits in with the whole idea of whether cards should or shouldn't be hard once per turns. So, Necromancer summons back Archfiend. Archfiend's going to get a barrier, and then we're going to go into the 100 Eyes classic play from Infernities. I believe the person used 100 Eyes and Infernity Mirage in the anime too, which is funny that we ended up doing... see, Levier went for the Mirage, like I said. And then we're going to link summon into Applepalooza to get lots of cards off the field. We're going to get our last barrier from our deck. And then we're going to start Synchro Summoning and getting cards back. So Synchro Summon for Boral Savage. Then Mirage gets back the Avenger and the Necromancer. Gets back this. Doesn't search. Summons Void Ogre. Tributes. Summons these two. Specials. Back. And there we go. So yeah. Similar board as the last replay. 4 negates. They have a Void... well, I guess it's more similar to the first one, since we have Void Ogre and all these negates here. It's pretty standard field for Infernities. This deck is pretty crazy. They said that in their email that they fine-tuned this deck and tested it several times and like got it to where this is, and it definitely does look like a fun deck. Infernities are a very fun deck to play if you like a lot of combos, but they're not exactly the most fun deck to play against. As you can see for our opponent here, struggling as they had to fight through a ton of negates and then some, and just to get OTK'd on the next one. And next, last but not least, we got the Infernity Virtual World 2. So another Infernity Virtual Worlds. So they got Ash Blossomed from the get-go. And here we go. We're off to the races. So they chose to summon this from the hand, which makes sense since Rhino is your best card to send, or to get in the graveyard. They could have probably done Necromancer. I'm sure there's a reason why they didn't do that. Well, it doesn't matter, they did Necromancer. I guess this was to get this out of their hand, that makes sense. So yeah, they summon Necromancer. They're going to use 0 max to summon back the Necromancer, which is going to get back the Archfiend. And here the plays start. Patriarch. Yeah, we've seen this before, so we're just going to let it play out. If they do anything different, like I said, then I'll stop and explain it. Special effect, add special. Reminds me of a old this old Asianized vine about Infernities. Top deck Archfiend effect, special effect, add special summon, special summon, special summon. After this, I want to pause and see how many cards they go through, like how big their graveyard is. But yeah, they summon this, keeps a spell that they know that they can set, and then they're doing the whole special summon this back. I believe they're gonna go. They should go into 100 Eyes soon. Oh, Wood Ogre. Yeah. Discard. Add a barrier, the first of many. Monster Reborn. Oh yeah, they already did barrier. I'm a fool because of 100 Eyes, because there's a Mirage that's already banished, right? Or was it because no, they haven't done it yet? Okay, so they banished it with the lure. I'm a fool. Leave me alone. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Palooza. Yeah, dude. So they got 3 barriers. They got their Savage Dragon. And then they're going to end on a Herald as well right here. With this up. There we go. So yeah, they didn't need 100 Eyes there. And they ended on their standard board that they like going for, which has, as we covered, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 negates. Up to 10 negates in a turn. Which is rough. So, opponent is just trying their hardest to play out of this, but as we see, it's really, really hard to play out of up to 10 negates. The main phase gets skipped, and they proceed to OTK their opponent. We also have a deck profile, and we're going to go over that pretty fast, as this video is already pretty long. But, 1 Infernity Archfiend, obviously, it's what you spam back and forth to keep adding cards. 1 Stygian Street Patrol, ever since this card came out, it has been a staple in the deck. And it's gone down to a 1 of. It used to be like a 3 of, and there used to be all kinds of variants. But yeah, 1 of it makes sense now, especially with the newer support. Patriarch, 1 of to special summon from your hand. Fiendish Rhino, Warrior, as we saw, it's like another Foolish. And the deck doesn't, this deck doesn't, interestingly enough, doesn't play actual Foolish. But I guess that makes sense. They're focused more on their whole rank 3 engine and all that. We saw Gillosaurus, we saw what it does. It's just a free level 3, and if you're going first, it doesn't have the whole, your opponent's special summons. Danger Sukanoko. The Danger Engine. Conjurer, we saw many times. We saw Tour Guide in action. We never got to see Eris. Now what Eris does is, if you have Stygian in your graveyard, and you have a way to and you need Archfiend to start comboing off, you find a way to send Eris to the graveyard with a card effect, say like with your Fiendish Warrior Rhino, and then Eris can search Archfiend, Infernity Archfiend, because it says 1 Archfiend card, and all Archfiends are part of the same archetype, or any card with Archfiend in the name is an Archfiend card. And I know that's like, of course, JankyYGO, duh, it's like that for everyone, but it's not, because of translations. When they bring cards over here, sometimes they just change the name to be something else, but all Archfiends are the same, have that same text. And if a card has Archfiend, it has the same text in Japanese. So yeah, saw the Danger, saw the Necromancers. The heart of the deck, though, is basically these, the Necromancer and the Infernity Archfiend. They are the heart of the deck. They're the ones that get your combos going constantly. All builds play these 2, and barriers and launchers. Every single Infernity build always plays those. Avenger, as it's a synchro. It's a tuner. It allows you free combos. And Mirage, which is like another launcher. 3 allures, because they're darks. 0 max, they're Infernity. It's like their own Monster Reborn. And just like Monster Reborn, it's not, you can't freaking search it. 3 Fossil Digs for your Gillosaurus. And if you and then Monster Reborn, because it's reborn. Dark World Reinforcements, also known as Charge into Dark World. 1 Paranoia, 3 World Legacy Succession, 1 Launcher, 3 Barriers, 1 Void Ogre, 1 Borleth Savage Dragon, 100 Eyes, 1 Herald of the Arclight, 1 number 60, 1 Leviair, 1 level 3, or number 3 Cicada King, 3 Saryujas, 1 Applepalooza, 1 Codebreaker, 1 Cyframe Lord Lambda, and then the heart and soul of the deck, and they said this deck is mainly built around Cherubini, as Cherubini is really, really good for fiend decks and stuff like that, because it is a foolish. So, Cherubini, just there. As we saw, it helps a lot of plays. Something I really appreciate about this deck is that there's only 1 tuner, so obviously they're not playing Halifibrex, but Halifibrex is like, there's a lot of degenerate combos and loops and everything that comes with that card, and Cherubini's also really good at like starting plays and getting these stuff going, but I feel like Halifibrex is like, it's just gonna happen. If you see a Halifibrex, you can just kind of roll your eyes at it. No offense to anyone who loves their Halifibrex combos and everything like that. It's just, nothing fair comes from that card. Anyway, thank you again, Atlas Yu-Gi-Oh, for sending in your deck profile and your replays. I really enjoyed the replays, and this deck looks super sweet. I can't wait to mess around with it myself. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send me any cool deck profiles or replays, emails in the description. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do it for free is to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe share it with your friends. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.